Welcome to Bright Star. Today, we're taking a trip back to 1966 with Star Trek: The Original Series, the groundbreaking sci-fi series created by Gene Roddenberry. Follow Captain Kirk, Spock, and the crew of the USS Enterprise as they explore strange new worlds, seek out new life and new civilizations, and boldly go where no man has gone before. Relive the show's visionary themes, discover behind-the-scenes secrets, and find out where the cast is today. Subscribe for more updates on your favourite sci-fi classics. Grace Lee Whitney played Janice Rand. Grace Lee Whitney's portrayal of yeoman Janice Rand brought strength, compassion and vulnerability to the role. Though she only appeared in the first season, Whitney's performance left a lasting impression. Her character assisted Captain Kirk with administrative tasks, while also showing professionalism and a deeper emotional connection with Kirk. Whitney reprised her role in later Star Trek films, securing her place in the franchise's legacy. Birth date: April 1st, 1930. Current age: Grace Lee. Whitney passed away on May 1st, 2015 at the age of 85. Despite her early departure from the original series, she remained a beloved figure in the Star Trek community, with her contributions continuing to be celebrated by fans and the franchise. Whitney's role as Janice Rand marked a pivotal moment in her career, but her departure from the original Star Trek series after the first season was a difficult experience for her. In later years, Whitney was candid about her struggles with addiction and credited her return to the Star Trek family, starting with Star Trek: The Motion Picture, for helping her find stability and recovery. Her openness about her personal challenges made her an advocate for addiction recovery, adding depth to her legacy both on and off the screen. Grace Lee Whitney began her acting career in the 1940s, primarily in theatre and musical comedy before transitioning to television and film in the 1950s. She gained attention with guest appearances on popular shows like The Outer Limits and Gunsmoke before being cast as Janice Rand in Star Trek, 1966. Though her role in Star Trek was cut short, Whitney's talent and professionalism were clear, and she remained connected to the franchise through various appearances in Star Trek films and fan conventions. Born in Ann Arbor, Michigan, Grace Lee Whitney began her entertainment career as a singer, performing in nightclubs and musical theatre before moving to Hollywood. Her personal life was marked by both professional highs and personal struggles, particularly with addiction. However, Whitney eventually overcame these difficulties and became a vocal advocate for addiction recovery, using her platform to help others. Grace Lee Whitney was married twice and had 2 children. She was open about the challenges she faced in balancing her personal and professional life, particularly during her battle with alcoholism. In her later years, Whitney focused on her family and her involvement in the Star Trek community, finding peace and purpose through her recovery journey and the enduring love of her fans. DeForest Kelly played Dr. Leonard Bones McCoy. DeForest Kelly's portrayal of Dr. Leonard Bones McCoy is a beloved and memorable performance in science fiction. As the compassionate yet gruff chief medical officer, Kelley brought warmth, humour, and humanity to the role. His witty remarks and verbal sparring with Spock became iconic, balancing the dynamic between Spock's logic and Captain Kirk's adventurous spirit. Kelley's portrayal of McCoy as the moral conscience of the Enterprise made him relatable and endearing to audiences, solidifying his place as one of Star Trek's most beloved characters. Birth date: January 20th, 1920. Current age: DeForest. Kelley passed away on June 11th, 1999, at the age of 79. His legacy as Dr. McCoy remains an integral part of Star Trek, influencing future generations of actors and fans alike. DeForest Kelly was initially typecast in westerns, often playing villains, before landing the role of Dr. McCoy in Star Trek, which transformed his career and made him a science fiction icon. He remained closely associated with the role for the rest of his life, reprising McCoy in multiple Star Trek films and guest appearances. DeForest Kelly began his career in film with a number of small roles in the late 1940s and 1950s, particularly in westerns, where he often portrayed outlaws or stern authority figures. His transition to science fiction came when he was cast as Dr. Leonard McCoy in Star Trek, 1966-1969, a role that not only shifted the trajectory of his career, but also cemented his place in television history. His portrayal of the compassionate doctor with a strong moral compass made McCoy a beloved character, and Kelley reprised the role in 6 Star Trek films, further solidifying his association with the franchise. Born in Toccoa, Georgia, Kelley grew up in a strict Baptist family. His early love for acting led him to move to California, where he pursued a career in Hollywood. Before becoming an actor, Kelley served in the United States Army Air Forces during World War II, working in motion picture service units. Kelley was married to his wife, Carolyn, from 1945 until his death in 1999. The couple had no children but shared a long and devoted marriage. Despite his fame, Kelley was known for his humility and deep dedication to his fans. He earned a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in 1991, and his contribution to the Star Trek franchise was recognized through numerous fan awards and honors. His work helped define the tone of the original Star Trek series, and he is remembered as one of its most significant and beloved figures. An interesting fact about DeForest Kelly is that he nearly turned down the role of Dr. McCoy, as he was hesitant to move away from westerns and villainous roles. Fortunately, he accepted, becoming a core member of Star Trek. Fans and colleagues often referred to him as Bones off-screen. Despite playing a doctor, Kelley admitted he was squeamish about real-life medical procedures. James Doohan played Montgomery, Scotty Scott. James Doohan's portrayal of Montgomery, Scotty Scott, is one of the franchise's most iconic and beloved performances. As the USS Enterprise's chief engineer, Doohan brought warmth, humor, and reliability to the role, becoming famous for the phrase, "Beam me up, Scotty." Known for his ability to solve any technical problem under pressure, Scotty became a defining character, with Doohan's Scottish accent adding to the authenticity. His chemistry with the cast and down-to-earth nature made Scotty a fan favourite, and Doohan's performance cemented Scotty as a cultural icon of resourcefulness and loyalty. Birth date, March 3rd, 1920. Current age, James Doohan passed away on July 20th, 2005, at the age of 85. His legacy as Scotty endures, especially in the hearts of Star Trek fans, who fondly remember his contribution to the series and films. James Doohan was not only an actor, but also a veteran of World War II. He served as a lieutenant in the Royal Canadian Artillery and participated in the D-Day invasion of Normandy, where he was injured in combat. His war experience deeply influenced his life and career, though he rarely discussed it publicly. Doohan's acting career began in radio before transitioning to television in the 1950s. He became known for his ability to perform a variety of accents, a skill that helped him land the role of Scotty. Although Star Trek was initially a short-lived series, it gained a massive cult following, with Doohan's portrayal of Scotty becoming one of the show's most recognizable and beloved elements. He reprised the role in numerous Star Trek films and television appearances, helping to keep the character alive for decades. Born in Vancouver, Canada, James Doohan was the son of Irish immigrants. He grew up in British Columbia and enlisted in the Canadian Army during World War II. After the war, he pursued a career in acting, studying at the Neighborhood Playhouse in New York City. His military background helped inform his portrayal of the no-nonsense engineer Scotty, who often found himself in high-pressure situations that demanded quick thinking and leadership. James Doohan was married 3 times and had 7 children. He was a devoted family man and remained closely connected to fans, regularly attending Star Trek conventions. Despite suffering from Parkinson's and Alzheimer's, Doohan continued making public appearances until shortly before his death. In 2004, Doohan received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, honoring his work as Montgomery Scott. His legacy as a cultural icon extends beyond acting, as he is remembered for his dedication to the fans and his role in shaping the enduring success of Star Trek. One interesting fact about James Doohan is that he was missing the middle finger on his right hand, a result of his injuries during the D-Day invasion in World War II. He skillfully hid this from the camera throughout his career, and most fans were unaware of it. Doohan was also instrumental in the development of the Klingon and Vulcan languages for Star Trek, using his experience in linguistics to help create the alien speech patterns that became staples of the series. William Shatner played James T. Kirk. William Shatner's portrayal of Captain James T. Kirk is one of the most iconic roles in science fiction history. As the bold and charismatic leader of the USS Enterprise, Shatner brought energy, charm, and a sense of adventure to the character. His performance balanced Kirk's leadership responsibilities with his impulsive, heroic nature, contributing to the enduring legacy of Star Trek and inspiring generations of fans. Birth date, March 22nd, 1931. Current age, William Shatner is currently 93 years old. He remains active in the entertainment industry, engaging with fans and continuing to explore various creative ventures, from acting to writing and even space exploration. Beyond his role as James T. Kirk, Shatner is a multi-talented performer, author, and director. In 2021, he became the oldest person to travel to space, flying aboard Blue Origin's New Shepard suborbital capsule, an event that captured global attention and further cemented his legacy as a pop culture icon. Shatner's early career began on the stage, with classical training at the Canadian National Repertory Theatre. His television debut in the 1950s quickly led to notable roles in various anthology series, but it was his casting as Captain James T. Kirk in Star Trek, 1966 and 1969, that transformed his career. Although the show was initially cancelled after 3 seasons, it gained a massive cult following, leading to multiple films, series revivals, and Shatner's lasting association with the character. Born in Montreal, Canada, Shatner's upbringing in a Jewish household influenced his strong sense of discipline and passion for the arts. He studied economics at McGill University before transitioning to acting, where he quickly made a name for himself on stage and screen. Shatner has been married 4 times and has 3 daughters. He has often spoken about the challenges of balancing a demanding career with family life, but has remained close to his children. Shatner is known for his witty personality and has maintained a strong connection with his fans through social media and conventions. William Shatner, known for his iconic role as Captain Kirk, has received major accolades throughout his career, including 2 Primetime Emmys and a Golden Globe for Boston Legal. Though he didn't win awards for Star Trek initially, his portrayal became one of television's most influential, earning him lasting fan recognition. He also has a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame and is a prolific author of memoirs and science fiction novels. Throughout his career, Shatner has faced occasional controversy, particularly rumors of tension with his Star Trek co-stars. However, he has often downplayed these reports in interviews, choosing instead to focus on the positive impact Star Trek had on his life and career. One fascinating fact about William Shatner is that, despite his long association with space through Star Trek, he has openly admitted that he was initially fearful of flying. Overcoming this fear, he made history by flying to space at 90 years old, showing that his adventurous spirit is just as strong as Captain Kirk's. Shatner's adventurous and eclectic career spans over 7 decades, proving that he remains as vibrant and curious as ever. Majel Barrett played Nurse Christine Chapel. Majel Barrett's portrayal of Nurse Christine Chapel brought depth, intelligence, and compassion to the character. Her performance highlighted Chapel's warmth, professionalism, and unrequited love for Spock, adding emotional complexity to the series. Although a supporting character, Barrett made Chapel relatable and multifaceted. Beyond this role, Barrett also contributed to Star Trek through voice work and behind-the-scenes involvement, solidifying her legacy in the franchise's history. Birth date, February 23, 1932. Current age. Majel Barrett passed away on December 18, 2008, at the age of 76. Her legacy continues through her significant contributions to Star Trek, both as an actress and as the wife of Star Trek creator Gene Roddenberry. In addition to her work as Nurse Chapel, Barrett played Lwaxana Troi, a recurring character in Star Trek, The Next Generation and Deep Space Nine. Her portrayal of Troi, known for her flamboyant personality and deep affection for her daughter Deanna, added a new dimension to her legacy within the franchise. Barrett also provided the iconic voice of the ship's computer in multiple Star Trek series and films, cementing her influence on the franchise. Majel Barrett started her career in the late 1950s and became involved with Star Trek from the beginning. Initially cast as number 1, the USS Enterprise's first officer, she faced resistance from executives uncomfortable with a woman in that role. Gene Roddenberry then recast her as Nurse Christine Chapel, where she gained recognition for her compassionate portrayal. Born in Cleveland, Ohio, Barrett attended the University of Miami, where she developed her passion for acting. Her personal life became intertwined with the Star Trek universe when she married Gene Roddenberry in 1969, a relationship that lasted until his death in 1991. Barrett remained deeply involved in the Star Trek franchise, not only through her acting roles, but also by continuing to preserve and promote Roddenberry's vision after his passing. Barrett and Gene Roddenberry had one son, Rod Roddenberry, who has continued to uphold his family's legacy through his involvement in Star Trek productions and projects. Majel Barrett was known for her devotion to both her family and the Star Trek community, attending conventions and maintaining a strong connection with fans of the franchise. She was affectionately referred to as the First Lady of Star Trek due to her long-standing involvement with the franchise. Her contributions were honored through fan accolades, and she earned a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame alongside other Star Trek luminaries. Her voice work as the computer of the Enterprise became a defining feature of the Star Trek universe, present across numerous series and films. An interesting fact about Majel Barrett is that she voiced the computer systems in nearly every Star Trek series, making her voice iconic in the franchise. Even after her death, she voiced the computer in the 2009 Star Trek reboot. She also played a key behind-the-scenes role in preserving Gene Roddenberry's vision, helping to shape the Star Trek legacy after his passing. Nichelle Nichols played Uhura. Nichelle Nichols' portrayal of Lieutenant Uhura was groundbreaking for both television and African-American representation. As the USS Enterprise's communications officer, she broke racial and gender barriers with strength, professionalism, and grace. Nichols became one of the first prominent black women on TV in a non-stereotypical role, inspiring future generations to pursue careers in science and the arts. Her performance, particularly alongside William Shatner, solidified Uhura as a key Star Trek character and paved the way for greater diversity in science fiction. Birth date, December 28, 1932. Current age, Nichelle Nichols passed away on July 30, 2022, at the age of 89. Her contributions to Star Trek and her legacy as a trailblazer in the entertainment industry continue to be celebrated by fans worldwide. Beyond her work on Star Trek, Nichols was an advocate for diversity in space exploration. She worked with NASA in the 1970s to recruit women and people of color to join the space program, leading to the recruitment of astronauts like Sally Ride and Guion Bluford, the first African-American astronaut. Nichelle Nichols began her career as a singer and stage actress, performing in various musical theater productions and nightclubs before transitioning to television. Her role as Uhura in Star Trek 1966-1969 was groundbreaking not only for its time, but for the impact it had on media and popular culture. Nichols made history by being part of one of the first interracial kisses on American television in an episode of Star Trek, a moment that remains iconic in television history. Born in Robbins, Illinois, Nichols grew up in a supportive family that encouraged her artistic aspirations. She began performing at a young age and trained in musical theater, eventually moving to New York to pursue her career. Her time on Star Trek helped her recognize the significance of her platform, which she used to advocate for civil rights and equality in both entertainment and real-life space exploration. Nichols was married twice and had one son, Kyle Johnson, from her first marriage. She maintained a close relationship with her son throughout her life and was known for her warmth and generosity toward her fans and colleagues. Despite her fame, Nichols was a private person who focused much of her time on her humanitarian and advocacy efforts in later years. Nichelle Nichols received numerous accolades for her work in television and contributions to space exploration, including a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in 1992. Her groundbreaking role as Uhura made her a symbol of progress and earned recognition from civil rights leaders, including Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who convinced her to stay on Star Trek as an important role model. Nichelle Nichols initially considered leaving Star Trek after the first season, but a conversation with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. convinced her to stay, as he emphasized the importance of her role in shaping perceptions of African Americans. Her influence extended beyond television, inspiring diversity in NASA by helping to recruit minority astronauts. Leonard Nimoy played Spock. Leonard Nimoy's portrayal of Spock is one of the most iconic performances in television and science fiction. As the half-human, half-Vulcan science officer, Nimoy brought depth and complexity to Spock, embodying logic and the struggle between emotion and intellect. His calm demeanor, iconic Vulcan salute, and subtle performance made Spock an enduring and beloved character. Nimoy's chemistry with William Shatner and DeForest Kelly added humor and emotional depth to the series, making Spock a cultural phenomenon across generations. Birth date: March 26, 1931. Current age: Leonard Nimoy passed away on February 27, 2015, at the age of 83. Despite his passing, his legacy as Spock continues to live on, influencing both science fiction and popular culture. In addition to his work as Spock, Nimoy was also an accomplished director, poet, and photographer. He directed two of the most successful Star Trek films, Star Trek III: The Search for Spock, and Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home, further solidifying his creative influence on the franchise. Leonard Nimoy's early career began on the stage and in small television roles before his breakthrough came in 1966 with the role of Spock in Star Trek. Initially, the show faced low ratings and was cancelled after 3 seasons, but syndication transformed Star Trek into a cultural touchstone, with Nimoy's portrayal of Spock at the heart of its success. His performance was praised for its nuanced handling of Spock's internal conflict between logic and emotion, making him a standout character in the ensemble cast. Born in Boston, Massachusetts, to Ukrainian Jewish immigrants, Nimoy grew up in a working-class family. He developed a passion for acting early in life and pursued theatre before moving to Hollywood. He studied at the Pasadena Playhouse and took acting classes at Boston College. Nimoy's Jewish heritage influenced his creation of the Vulcan salute, which was derived from a gesture used during Jewish religious services. Leonard Nimoy was married twice and had 2 children. He was known to be a dedicated family man and maintained close relationships with his children, even as his career demanded much of his time. In his later years, he became an advocate for COPD awareness after being diagnosed with the disease, likely caused by his years of smoking. Leonard Nimoy's performance as Spock earned him multiple Emmy nominations, though he never won. His lasting impact on Star Trek and science fiction led to numerous Lifetime Achievement Awards, including a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame and recognition from NASA. Spock remains one of TV's most enduring characters, and Nimoy reprised the role in several Star Trek films, both as an actor and director. One interesting fact about Leonard Nimoy is that he was an accomplished photographer and poet, with several published works to his name. Additionally, his influence on the Vulcan culture in Star Trek was significant. He invented not only the Vulcan salute, but also the famous "Live Long and Prosper" greeting, both of which have become timeless symbols in popular culture. George Takei played Hikaru Sulu. George Takei's portrayal of Hikaru Sulu brought calm, intelligence, and professionalism to the role of the USS Enterprise's helmsman, breaking racial barriers as one of the first prominent Asian American characters on TV. His portrayal of Sulu as a skilled pilot and loyal crew member with glimpses of adventure made him an iconic figure in science fiction. Takei's performance helped increase diversity on screen and solidified Sulu as a beloved character in the Star Trek franchise. Birth date: April 20th, 1937. Current age: George Takei is currently 87 years old and remains an active and influential figure in the entertainment industry. Beyond acting, he is widely known for his activism, advocacy for LGBTQ+ rights, and his social media presence. Beyond his work on Star Trek, George Takei is a prominent social and political activist. He has been a tireless advocate for LGBTQ+ rights and has spoken out about his own experience in Japanese American internment camps during World War II. His activism has earned him numerous accolades, including the GLAAD Media Award. George Takei began his acting career in the late 1950s, appearing in minor roles in both film and television before being cast as Hikaru Sulu in Star Trek, 1966-1969. His role as Sulu was groundbreaking, as it was one of the few positive depictions of an Asian character on American television at the time. Takei brought a quiet dignity to Sulu, and his portrayal helped challenge stereotypes, showing a competent and heroic Asian American character at the helm of a futuristic starship. He reprised the role in multiple Star Trek films and became a beloved figure in the science fiction community. Born in Los Angeles, George Takei spent part of his childhood in Japanese-American internment camps during World War II, an experience that profoundly shaped his worldview. After the war, Takei attended the University of California, Berkeley, and later transferred to UCLA, where he studied theatre. His early struggles with racism and prejudice informed his later activism for equality and justice. George Takei has been married to his longtime partner, Brad Altman, since 2008, becoming one of the first openly gay actors to marry following California's legalization of same-sex marriage. He has been open about his sexuality and his advocacy for LGBTQ+ rights, using his platform to support marriage equality and other causes. He received the Glad Vito Russo Award for promoting LGBTQ+ visibility in media, and he was awarded a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in 1986. George Takei has been vocal about disagreements with some of his Star Trek co-stars, most notably William Shatner. Their public feud, which centered around differing personalities and Shatner's behavior on set, has occasionally resurfaced in interviews. However, Takei has largely focused on his activism and has not been involved in any major personal scandals. One fascinating fact about George Takei is that he was instrumental in renaming the Griffith Park Amphitheatre in Los Angeles to the George Takei Rainbow Honor Walk, in recognition of his contributions to civil rights and his advocacy for the LGBTQ+ community. Additionally, his work in raising awareness about the internment of Japanese Americans during World War II has been widely praised, including his role in the Broadway musical Allegiance, which was based on his personal experiences during the war. Walter Koenig played Pavel Chekhov. Walter Koenig's portrayal of Ensign Pavel Chekhov brought youthful energy and charm to the USS Enterprise crew. Known for his thick Russian accent, fiery personality, and loyalty, Chekhov reflected Cold War-era pride in Russian achievements. Koenig's performance added humor and camaraderie, with Chekhov often in perilous situations but always showing bravery and wit. His chemistry with the cast, especially with Sulu and Uhura, made Chekhov a fan favorite. Koenig reprised the role in multiple Star Trek films where Chekhov evolved from an eager ensign to a seasoned officer. Birth date, September 14, 1936. Current age. Walter Koenig is currently 88 years old, while he remains active in the entertainment industry. His contributions to Star Trek and his role as Chekhov continue to define his legacy as a beloved figure in science fiction. In addition to his work on Star Trek, Koenig gained recognition for his role as Alfred Bester on the cult sci-fi series Babylon 5, where he portrayed a villainous telepath. Koenig also ventured into writing, penning several Star Trek novels and scripts for other science fiction series. Walter Koenig began his acting career in theatre and television, landing small roles before being cast as Pavel Chekhov in Star Trek 1967-1969. His role was initially created to appeal to younger audiences, and Koenig's portrayal of the enthusiastic Russian navigator quickly endeared him to fans. He became a central figure in the Star Trek films, growing his character alongside the original cast. Outside of Star Trek, Koenig pursued a variety of acting, writing and directing projects, including work on Babylon 5, and contributions to the Star Trek extended universe through novels and comic books. Born in Chicago to Russian Jewish immigrants, Koenig's heritage informed his portrayal of Chekhov's strong Russian pride. He grew up in New York and attended Grinnell College before transferring to UCLA, where he studied psychology. His background in psychology contributed to his thoughtful approach to acting, particularly in creating nuanced performances like Chekhov and Bester. Walter Koenig has been married to actress Judy Leavitt since 1965, and they have one son, actor Andrew Koenig, who sadly passed away in 2010. Koenig has been candid about his family's struggles, using his platform to raise awareness about mental health. One fascinating fact about Walter Koenig is that, while he is best known for his role as Pavel Chekhov, he was not originally cast in the first season of Star Trek. His character was introduced later to appeal to younger audiences, drawing inspiration from the Beatles with his distinctive mop-top haircut. Additionally, Koenig is the only original Star Trek cast member who did not provide voice work for Star Trek, the animated series, though he contributed by writing an episode, The Infinite Vulcan, showcasing his multifaceted talents as both an actor and a writer. Sher Jackson played Andrea. Sher Jackson's performance as Andrea captivated science fiction fans, despite her character's appearance in only one episode. As an android, Jackson skillfully combined a robotic presence with subtle human emotions, effectively exploring themes of identity and autonomy. Her portrayal of Andrea, both seductive and menacing, showcased her ability to command the screen and left a lasting impact on viewers. Jackson's nuanced performance added depth to the episode, making Andrea a standout character in the Star Trek universe. Birth date, February 15th, 1942, current age. Sher Jackson is currently 82 years old. While she stepped back from acting later in life, her earlier work remains influential in both television and film. In addition to her iconic role in Star Trek, Sher Jackson was a child star in Make Room for Daddy, where she played the daughter of Danny Thomas's character for several years. Her transition from child star to adult actress allowed her to take on a wide range of roles in popular TV shows, cementing her as a versatile actress during the golden age of television. Jackson began acting as a child in the late 1940s and quickly rose to prominence in the 1950s with roles in both film and television. Her early work in Make Room for Daddy showcased her talent and ability to handle complex characters from a young age. Born in Wendell, Idaho, Sher Jackson moved to Los Angeles to pursue her acting career. Raised by her mother after her father's death, Jackson was encouraged to enter the entertainment industry. Her upbringing in Hollywood played a significant role in shaping her early success. Sher Jackson has kept much of her personal life private. She never married, but was romantically linked to several prominent figures during her acting career. Despite stepping back from the spotlight, Jackson remains a cherished figure among classic TV fans. A fun fact about Sher Jackson is that she turned down the opportunity to appear in more episodes of Star Trek, choosing instead to pursue other acting opportunities. Her one-time appearance as Andrea remains a beloved moment in Star Trek history, often cited by fans as one of the most memorable episodes of the original series. Mark Lenard played Sarek. Mark Lenard's portrayal of Sarek, Spock's Vulcan father, is regarded as dignified and powerful. As the Vulcan ambassador, Sarek embodied logic, diplomacy, and wisdom, while balancing complex emotions tied to his family. Lenard's calm, authoritative presence, along with his nuanced portrayal of Sarek's internal struggles, made the character both stoic and emotionally vulnerable. His chemistry with Leonard Nimoy's Spock and Jane Wyatt's Amanda added a rich familial dynamic, resonating deeply with audiences across various Star Trek series and films. Birth date, October 15, 1924. Current age, Mark Lenard passed away on November 22, 1996, at the age of 72. His contributions to Star Trek continue to be celebrated by fans, particularly for his memorable portrayal of Sarek. In addition to his role as Sarek, Mark Lenard holds the distinction of playing 3 different alien species in Star Trek: a Romulan in Balance of Terror, 1966, a Klingon in Star Trek, the motion picture, 1979, and of course, the iconic Vulcan, Sarek. His versatility and ability to bring gravitas to different roles made him a standout figure in the franchise. Mark Lenard began his acting career on the stage and made his way into film and television in the 1950s. His talent for portraying authoritative and dignified characters quickly led him to roles in notable TV series of the era. However, his portrayal of Sarek in Star Trek is arguably his most enduring role. Lenard first appeared as Sarek in the original Asterisk Star, tier Star Trek series in the Star Trek films and Star Trek The Next Generation, Continuing born in Chicago, Illinois, Leonard served in the U.S. Army during World War II before pursuing a career in acting. After the war, he attended the University of Michigan, where he earned a degree in theatre and began performing in stage productions. Leonard's strong educational background in the arts, combined with his military experience, gave him a disciplined and refined approach to his craft, which he brought to all his roles. Mark Leonard was married to Anna Murray, and they had 2 daughters. He was known for being private about his personal life, but his love for acting and dedication to his craft were apparent throughout his career. Even after his passing, Leonard's family has remained connected to the Star Trek community, honouring his legacy at various conventions and events.